So, hello and welcome. So thank you for signing up to the webinar.
Yeah, thank you.
And we wanted to do one around being of service and helping other people. And recently, we have really been seeing the power of the hidden dimension when you're working with people. We're going to explain what we mean by that shortly. So when we talk about working with people, that could be you as a therapist or a coach or a facilitator, or really working with your children, connecting with your siblings, with your parents, with your friends.
Partner.
Yeah. So there is what we're calling a hidden dimension behind communication. And fundamentally, in a nutshell, that hidden dimension is an energetic interplay, meaning an energetic interaction between two people. If there's two of you, or if there's more of you, obviously it'd be a group interaction of energy. Now, that may not sound that practical, but believe me, it is the most practical thing you can possibly understand the nature of, because it hugely augments your ability to help other people.
And we're resonating anyway as energetic beings. And resonance, the Latin term is resonatia, and it means to echo. So when it's an energetic exchange between two things.
Yeah. So let's set this up first. Put your hand up. You can put your virtual, your physical hand up, because I've got it on gallery view now so I can see you guys. If you have not felt so good, and then you could see a coach, therapist, or you could be around a friend or a family member, and without you talking about your problems, or without them coaching you or anything, just being in their presence, you start to feel a bit better, like your heart lifts and you feel a bit lighter. Put your hand up if you've experienced that before. Beautiful. Yeah, most people.
Those are the people that feel like sunshine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So with no words exchanged, there is a seeming increase in your good feeling, in a sense. Also, put your hand up if you've been in a good feeling, and that could be like feeling positive, or feeling calm, or feeling connected to a larger source behind life. And then someone's come to you and they haven't been feeling so good. And again, you're not saying anything, you're not coaching them, you're not talking about their problems, but before long you notice that they started to feel better. Have you had that experience? Put your hands up if you have. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Thanks, guys. So this is the energetic interplay. It is before the words that can come through the words. Now, we're going to talk about that because I'm going to pick on you. Okay. So Jules here had an experience. I don't know if any of you guys have read the book, but I'll put the link in the chat when I'm not talking, because I'm a man, sorry to be sexist, and I can't talk and put a link in at the same time. Not very comfortably anyway. So Jules, so you had an experience in 2014. And I don't know, how would you explain that experience?
Well, I'd have to use a bazillion words or no words. It was an energetic shift. It was a shift, a huge shift in perspective. And in seeing this expansive perspective, naturally, inevitably, my inner energetic dwelling shifted, expanded, changed. It was a lot more pleasing to be inside myself, because it was hell before. So yes.
And what did you notice? So you used to work in a little country store.
Yeah, here when I got to
on the
Big
till
Island.
And different things. And so, okay, you had no coaching qualifications.
No.
Hadn't studied 3 principles, non-duality, law of attraction, psychology.
I didn't know what they were.
Okay, but your interaction with people, what did you find? I
found that the only way I could describe it was word vomit. I could tell when somebody was hurting. They could be coming up and bringing their groceries. Either they would stay or they would leave. So there would be like a harmonic resonance going on, exchange between us two, or a disharmonic where it was, we'll get into that a little bit later. But words just arose from this space.
Yeah.
It wasn't as though my intellect was trying to find the words. Words arose from this energetic dwelling, this gift that each and every one of you have. I'm not anything special. It's each and every one of you. We are all human. We all express this beautiful oneness, and we're all energetic beings. We're all love having a human experience. No different.
So I have to say, I'm just using Jules as an example, but yeah, you're right. We can use all of us as an example. I saw people's face light up and the hearts open, and seeing them over the last couple of months after Jules spoke to them, there was this huge shift in their consciousness. And Jules didn't talk about mindful consciousness. She didn't talk about non-duality. She may not have even used the word spirit or energy. There was just a wordless transference of information that opened their hearts.
It was just a metaphorical mirror that I held up so they could see their greatness, so they could see all that they are. They're beautiful, each and every one of you.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys have experienced what we're talking about. There's a hidden dimension that we don't know much about, because it's not that it's a secret, as in it's hidden. It's invisible. It's hard to measure with instruments, but we're going to talk about what that is. And by the end of the webinar, you can have a much better understanding of how this energetic interplay works for you to be able to work more with people, whether you're a coach, therapist, family member, friend, wife, husband, etc., etc. So first off, Sydney Banks called it a feeling, but Sydney Banks' insight was in 1972, and since then there has been a lot of research in peer-reviewed journals on how all this stuff works that wasn't around in 1972. So we're going to talk a bit about what it is, then we're going to go more into the embodiment of it. So like Jules says, we are part of all things. We can't not be. There's nobody separate from this allness, but we are this allness humaning. And because we're intimately entangled with our larger selves, we can't get away from it. It's like swimming in the ocean and then trying to get out of the ocean. Like you can't, you're so intimately entangled within it. It's just not going to be done. So because we're entangled within this larger field, and you could call that field universal mind, you could call that field consciousness. You could, well, actually put your version in of what the field is to you, because you could call it God as well. I'd love to just use some of your words on this, because there's one natural power, but there's lots of different human versions of that. Source, lovely, Verena.
Love it. Nature.
Yeah, beautiful, Simon. Nature. Yeah.
Love.
Krista, lovely. Love. Yeah, beautiful. Universal energy, nice.
Beautiful.
It's what is. Yes, that's a very Yoda thing. It is what is. Thanks, Steve. Lovely. Oh, the divine source energy. Beautiful. So whatever word you want to put in it, if we say a word and you don't like the word, you can just reframe it in your mind for it to mean what it means to you. So because we're entangled within this field already, and there's nobody separate from this field, we are the field, having a beautifully real, meaningful, unique experience within this entangled field of potential. of course, we're energetically connected to everything, everybody, outside of time, space, and matter. But relatively speaking, yes, there's a me here, a you there, and it's now 8:14 in the morning in Hawaii, and now it's 8:15, so there is the relative time, space, and matter, but I'm talking absolutely, it's the allness and the isness, and there's nothing that it isn't, and we are part of this, we're entangled within it. So of course, our heart-based emotions, we're going to talk about in a minute, has an influence on the field and the people around us. Now, I'll give you some examples. Actually, put your hands up if you've heard of the Heart Math Institute. Hands up, Heart Math Institute, many people. Oh, quite a few of you. That's interesting. Okay. So the Heart Math Institute's been doing a lot of research on the hidden dimension. And they have found, for instance, we're going to put the link to these studies in the Wholality Facebook group, because if we put the link on the chat, then people who watch the recording can't get the link. So we'll put it in the Facebook group, and I'll put a link to that Facebook group in a minute when I stop talking. What they found is they had 3 people sitting at a table who were in on the experiment, and 1 person who wasn't in on the experiment. Now, the 3 people sitting on the table, they were in what Heart Math calls heart coherence. What does that mean? It means a feeling of appreciation and a feeling of gratitude. Would you explain it like that?
Yeah, it's when our brain waves and our heart waves sync up. So we're in coherence. So if there's 3 people incoherent, it's not incoherent, it's incoherent.
Beautiful, thank you. Yes. So 3 people in coherence,
having a coherent experience.
Yeah. So then a 4th person who didn't know what was going on was just asked, and he was out of coherence, so he wasn't feeling so good. He went and sat with the other 3 people. Now, no words were spoken at all. Everyone was just on their phones or reading. And with the 4th person, he was with the galvanic skin respondent, ECG and what's the heart one?
There's ECG and EEG.
EEG. And so they measured all of his vitals, and they found that the guy who joined them, all of a sudden, to use different words for the same thing, he had an elevation in consciousness, he got into heart coherence, he started feeling better.
He matched the vibration.
He matched the vibration of the people sitting. No words were spoken. This has been demonstrated with animals, with just across the board. I don't want to bore you with research. Now, the point of us saying this is, when you work with a person, what they found is that when you're in coherence as the coach or facilitator or the person helping your friend, you can directly elevate the person you're with before your words, just your sheer presence. I'm going to use lots of words, your level of consciousness.
There's a word for that. Entrainment.
It's called entrainment, where the stronger energy,
which is the stronger energy is not, you would think that it would be, anger, but really energetically speaking, via the power of the wave itself, the stronger energy is the more joyful, loving, compassionate. Compassion is the strongest. It has more of a bang, more of a power. It waves a lot more than collapsed energy. We feel sadness and anger more because it's more internal. It's more embodied internally.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess what we're trying to say is when you're not feeling so good, you tend to go in, because you can get self-judgmental. You think about yourself, you're not feeling so good. And it's very powerfully, you feel it.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure all of you have felt incredible sadness, and it's a powerful feeling, or anger. But what happens, the energy wave collapses, and it is there's not much creation happening outside of you in the field. However, expansive, like gratitude, love, compassion, freedom, it's a very powerful wave. Yeah. So what entrainment does is the stronger wave brings the less stronger wave up in sync with it. And this is what can happen in coaching sessions or on, you know, if you're talking to lots of people, people start syncing with a higher coherence. Now, what the heart math found, which is interesting, is two people in coherence. I'm gonna do a little diagram, and I don't know what accent this is.
He's known for his diagrams. He's a good diagram drawer.
Well,
I'm not so
I give
much.
it a go. Okay, so you've got two people. Oops. And yes, there are people, but what are people? People are energetic, biological, emotional, chemical.
Right.
When you look at the whole person, it's all different frequencies of energy, from the very dense energy, which you call physicality, kind of radiating out in higher and higher frequencies that you can't see. So we're talking about stuff out here that you can't see, the hidden dimension.
Right. The overlooked dimension.
So everybody is kind of like waves, an energy wave. Okay. And our own personal energetic field is as unique as all of our fingerprints. It's beautiful. Now, two people in coherence, what HeartMath has found is it opens up a third energy field that no one's discovered before. Now, that third field only arises when two people are in sync with one another. Now, before I talk more about that, what does that mean? Jules, you've delivered babies, you've been a nurse. Can you talk about the mother?
Yes. Before I knew this, I was in the special care nursery, and I would listen to the baby's heartbeat, and it was very erratic and very kind of up and down. And one thing that I noticed is when the mother paid attention to the baby, the heart rate would balance out. They weren't touching, but that always happened. So when the mother, I would think, oh my gosh, you know, I don't want the mom in here because she's going to get extra concerned. We're doing a check on her neonate or on her baby. And, but it was quite the opposite. The heart rate of the baby would just calm down. It would balance out. Yeah,
more research has found that this is interesting. Okay, so when mothers think of their baby, so they haven't physically gone and started cuddling the baby. When the mothers think of the baby's heart rhythm syncs with the mother's brain waves. Isn't that amazing? Just by the power of thought, or just by that energetic connection between people. So say you're working with a client, I'll just use a coaching as an example. When you feel that deep rapport, that appreciation, like they almost become them, have you, I don't know.
Yeah, we should ask.
Hands up, if you've ever worked with people, you know, regardless of the coaching clients, and you feel that you're kind of almost them, you feel this deep connection with them, it's almost like they are part of you. Hands up who's experienced that. Beautiful. Okay, lots of you experienced that. Beautiful. Okay, great. I want to keep checking that you know what the hell I'm talking about. So that's really good. So when you've got that deep rapport with somebody, guess what? A third energy field opens up between you. What is this field? It's the sharing of information that you could call intuition. You start having insights or awarenesses of the person that you could not possibly know and you start saying things like Jill says, word vomit, just
Yeah.
kind of, you're saying it, you don't know why you're saying it, but like this is giving you information as to how best help.
Right.
If this is a client, if this is the coach, this is a client, for example, you have insights spoken through words that can help and enliven the client. Sometimes I've had clients and I start telling a story completely unrelated to what we're talking about. And my head is going, why are you saying this? This is no relation to what they've just said. And then in my seemingly, why am I doing this? I go, yes, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hands up, anyone experienced that before? Yeah, okay, beautiful. Okay, so for instance, I was talking to one lady about relationship difficulties. I ended up talking about the death of my mother. What the hell has that got to do with relationship difficulties? But in that story, there was this deeper tuning into this third field, this intuition, and it really helped her.
So this is what I call the knowing without knowing how you know. Right, Anthony? The knowing without knowing how you know. Because you know that you need to speak from this space, or actually just thoughts arise. You don't intellectually think of a thought and say it. Thoughts arise from this space, but you don't know why you know. There isn't a, well, I'm going to say this because of this. So this is this energetic exchange, this connection between two beings is communing non-phonetically, and we're putting words around it.
So many, for instance, many coaching programs, they kind of tell you how to do it and the words to use. Now, there is value in this. Like, I wouldn't go and talk to corporate executives and start talking about the great allness behind all things beyond time, space, and matter. I mean, unless that was appropriate for that group, I'm guessing it's largely not going to be, but I would talk about a deeper potential behind life, or getting in touch with their creative mind. Again, you find the words depending on the population you're talking to. However, my opinion, and maybe our opinion, is that words are a little bit overrated. How to do it is a little bit overrated. What is underrated? Can you write embodiment up?
Embodiment.
Embodiment. As we start embodying that which we talk about, that is when we have really deep impact with our clients. Because I'll tell you why. If you're focusing on how to and processes, okay, let's broaden this. People that use techniques and processes, if they're having great effects with their clients, it's often because of the space they're coming through as they're doing that stuff. It's that coaches, I don't care what modality you trained in. It's the embodiment, it's the feeling, it's the resonance of the person using those techniques that's largely doing the work. So for instance, with our facilitator students on Wholality, we really focus on embodiment. Why? Because as our hearts open, and this isn't just a metaphor, I would say why in a minute, we have a deeper impact. The more open-hearted you are, the deeper impact you have with people, full stop.
The more open-hearted you are, the greater you see inside yourself, the greater of the divine, the all that you are, you see inside yourself. And when you see that greatness inside yourself, you're going to see that in your clients. And your clients are going to have so much more room for growth and healing. We create this space for healing, because the divine in you will see the divine in them.
Yeah. Now, we haven't got time to go into resonance and energy and stuff. I mean, we spend a whole month with our Wholality facilitator students specifically looking at the dynamics of that and getting the heartfelt embodiment of that, but we haven't got time on a short webinar. Suffice to say that our hearts has a 5,000, I'm going to write that down because it's unbelievable, 5,000 times greater magnetic field than the head. And 50 times greater electrical field than the head or the brain.
Right. And what they're finding is the heart sends the brain messages. The heart is kind of known as the little brain. It's where your intuitive essence, the compassion, the love rests, the connection to the divine, the connection to this non-phonetic, the non-physical, the voice of wisdom.
Yeah. So when you're feeling those heart-based emotions, you are literally, this isn't a metaphor, you are literally exteriorizing magnetic waves of coherence out from you, okay? And research has shown that people can feel those magnetic waves. And due to entrainment, this magnetic wave of coherence can lift people around you, literally. It's not a metaphor. This is proven science now. I'll put the link in the Wholality Facebook page.
We should put it on our website too, because not everybody's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So we could we're going to post this video in our library. And yeah, and just below we'll put all the links. How about that?
That's a good plan. I'm going to put it in, I'm going to put it, so for you people on the webinar, that is a link to the Wholality Facebook group. We're going to post it. And for people not on Facebook, we'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to give you an example, I was in this research institute that studied consciousness in Brazil, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. And I spoke to this guy, he's sadly passed away now, called Waldo, who was the originator of this place. He looked a bit like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. He is very tall, big white beard. And he spoke Portuguese and very bad English, and I didn't speak any Portuguese. And we had a conversation about the weather in London. Now, just by the fact of his coherence and my willingness to be open, because we can kind of block coherence ourselves, but again, that's a whole nother thing. I have to say that I had this enormous expansion in consciousness by just being in his presence because of his coherence. It wasn't pleasant. I was in tears for a week because I realized I realized my own egotism, basically, and it wasn't pleasant, but it released me from a lot of that stuff. So if you really want to help people, you have to go within. If you really, really, really want to help people, I would say, my opinion is that the more in touch with your heart you become, the more open-hearted. Compassion is literally the key to accelerating finding home in other people, your own compassion going through you. And again, Rudy's personal opinion is this is a little bit underrated in most coaching programs. So again, with ours, we really help the students open their hearts.
We're the heart of human potential.
That's why innate evolution is called the heart of human potential, because it is literally the heart is what creates the human potential. Because from an open-hearted space, this magnetic coherence that you resonate is really powerful. You don't have to be with someone physically, because there is really absolutely no time, no space, no matter. It's all an entangled energy field.
Beautiful.
Anything else to say about that? I'm just going to read the messages. Let's have a look. Yes, so we had a direct message. In my personal experience, when the mind is open, free of personal stories or judgments about myself or the others, the resonance or incoherent state happens naturally. Thanks for the reminder.
That was one of our last year's students.
Yeah. And I won't say who it is because he didn't direct put it to everybody, but he says that he's where he would normally have to see somebody for like a year. He's kind of seeing them, the whole thing's over in like a month or maybe a month and a half, because
yeah, he joked, I'm gonna throw myself out of business.
Yeah, because he's helping his clients so rapidly, they're not needing to come back.
What does he do?
A psychotherapist.
Clinical psychotherapist.
Yeah. So really, just to wrap up, the hidden dimension is the energetic dimension. Seeing how powerful that is, seeing the nature of that, you start trusting that inner feeling, that intuition, rather than overriding it with your head so much. I've seen, I don't know, estimated well over 1,000. I've done more than like 1,000 coaching sessions with people over the years. And it's so second nature to me to just ignore my head now and go with that heartfelt resonance. And if some of my previous teachers of the modalities I've studied would see my coaching session, they'll probably give me feedback that I'm not doing it right. I want to tell you guys, and pardon my French, fuck it. You have to go within. You have to follow your own gut. Throw away the structures, the labels, the techniques. Go within. Follow your own intuition. If your heart feels open and you feel connected, talk from that space.
The knowing without knowing how you know.
Because if you're trying to fit it into a box of using certain words and talking about it in a certain way, you are going to limit the information coming through you.
Right.
In all my years of studying NLP, clinical hypnotherapy, psychology, timeline therapy, 3 principles, non-duality, blah, blah, blah. It's like throw it all away.
Right.
Come back to the heart. Listen to the heart. Fall into the heart. Let the heart speak through your words. It's like, don't talk about the space, but talk from the space. Can you see there's a difference there? I can use big words like, yes, we're spiritual beings, and there's this thing called universal mind, which is connected, and there's a strength in you. These are kind of like big spiritual words, but you have to just let that space articulate and move your tongue. It's before the words, but you have to use words, but the words are secondary to the feeling that allows you to talk.
The words are a physical manifestation of this energetic dwelling. They arise from this space. And I was going to say something else, but I totally forgot. So keep going. I was going to add to it.
Go and add to it. Can you remember what it was?
Oh, and don't forget you're unique. 7.8 billion unique expressions on this earth. How can anyone know what's right for you? How can anyone teaching say that this is the right way? It is your own blank canvas of infinite potential to, pardon my French, but word vomit all over. It's coming from love. You are love having a human experience. And we're biochemical, electromagnetic, beautiful, exquisitely dancing beings of this oneness. And let's harmonize and dance.
One last thing I want to say actually is, as you guys probably know, I've been teaching the 3 principles, or the inside out understanding, for like 20 years. And then when I met Jules, I noticed she was having a bigger impact with clients than I was.
I didn't have clients.
Even though
I had people at my store.
all this training.
Right, Renee?
And so on our facilitator training back then, also was 2018, 19 or something.
Yeah.
I said, Jules, you have to coach the students, like, because I was just coaching the students. I said, Jules, you have to coach. And you were going, what was your response?
No, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. I haven't had any formal training on this. And I just was petrified. And then he put my face up on the website.
So then I kind of forced her. Well, I didn't force her. I basically cajoled her into actually talking to the students.
Yeah, and somebody wrote in wanting, and they actually paid money to talk to me.
And you were like, oh my God, they're paying money. And I'm not even qualified to talk.
But as soon as I sat across thousands of miles, but it felt so present, this opened up. And I saw the beauty and exquisiteness, and it was such an honor to hold up a mirror so this beautiful individual could see this within herself. Oh my gosh. Again, the divine in me sees the divine in them. And this space opens and a mirror pops up. That's it. Because each and every one of you have everything you need. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to help people understand how their minds work, but an expansion of consciousness frees the mind. It's good to understand our psychology, but an open-heartedness can silence our psychology. So again, with our Wholality facilitator training, we help people trust their gut. We help people go within. We help people embody that which they're talking about. And of course, we give some guidance on words using neutral language and everything, because it's all part of the whole and it's all helpful depending on what population you're talking to. But again, the reason our business is called the heart of human potential, innate evolution, the heart of human potential, the heart, compassion, our internal resonance is a very misunderstood or overlooked aspect of working with clients. This is why we spend 4 months with people deepening their open-heartedness, because from that deeper space of communication, they can get into the presenting problem with this client that they may not even know that they have, because it's revealed to you intuitively. So, you've got the link to the Wholality. Oh, that's what I was going to say. This is a really short, we literally spend an entire month with our students going into this. We release videos every day. So this is like a 30-minute like hit of this. And it's much deeper than that we're trying to talk about. So we're going to start doing more free webinars. Now, we want you to vote. You've got a link to the Wholality Facebook group. We're going to put a poll on there, and we're going to give you about 3 or 4 different things, and you have to vote on what you want us to talk about next.
Should we send an email to all the attendees? Because not everybody's on Facebook.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, yeah.
One of them would be going deeper into facilitating from the hidden dimension. This is kind of like, we just started scratching the surface. The next webinar, we could kind of go deeper into it if you'd like us to. Or if you're interested in another topic, we can do that as well. But what we're going to do is we are going to do a webinar for whoever votes. Sorry, I can't talk. There you go.
You did really well.
I was trying to talk and trying to do it. I just can't. We're going to do a webinar for the topic that has the most votes. We're going to put that in the Facebook page.
Yeah, so we'll send this out. I'll try to figure out how to do that on Instagram too, and also via email.
Yeah.
So then we can get votes from everywhere.
We've got 5 minutes left. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat now, and we're going to buzz through them just for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. So put those in the chat.
Oh, this was beautiful.
It's a beautiful, gentle, loving reminder.
Oh.
Thank you. Oh, Verena, I often hear energy workers talk about that they need to protect themselves when they work with people. What is your view on that? Beautiful question, Verena. Very simply, not my opinion, not superstition. What science has found is that people in coherence are automatically protected because of the strength of their vibration, which is interesting.
If they're aware.
If they're
aware how it works, right? Yeah.
I thought that might be the case, but it's kind of been verified by the heart math that when you're in coherence, you can be around all kinds of frequencies. And the interesting thing is you have a sense and you can feel it and you have insights about it, but it doesn't adversely affect you. Again, we can talk more about that if you want to go deeper into this topic. Cool. No other questions?
Oh, deeper. We already got one vote.
Oh, so Tony wants to go deeper into this topic. Dee, thank you for giving your time and your love. Thank you so much. Steve, it's funny. Steve's a Qigong and Tai Chi Qigong instructor. It's funny you mentioned working from the heart. I'm finding that Tai Chi and Qigong stuff, I have been stronger coming from the heart rather than the head. Yes. Beautiful. Your heart is your superpower. And believe me, and I'm sure you've experienced, things in life can have an effect to kind of cover over our heart. I just want to say that you're not alone. You're never alone. That there's this immense reservoir of power running through you, and nothing can break your heart. Your heart can just stretch to let in more love. Could you say a bit more about that before we finish? I know that you've had lots of seemingly heartbreaking things happen.
I can't without going deeper into it, but it's the perspective from the heart, not of the heart, but it's the perspective of the heart, seeing the world from this heart space. Life isn't as heartbreaking. Life isn't as scary. And you just see again the divine, the unique divineness in each and every other person, other human on this beautiful planet.
Beautiful. I'm going to put this last link in. Someone's asked on a private message. That's the link to our facilitator training. So we talk more about this in our book, Wholality, The Missing Link to Love. That's in the chat somewhere. Go to the Facebook page. Jules is going to create the poll. So go and have a look at it in about 15 minutes and you can basically vote on what you'd like us to talk about next.
Oh, we have so many more comments and questions, but we'll do this again soon, like possibly.
Next week.
Yeah.
Possibly next week. Oh, Rob's got Wholality, the book there. Oh, nice one, Rob.
Oh, hi,
Renee's got it as well. I'm going to go to gallery
view. Thank you for your emails.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's a great book. We're really enjoying it. And this was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Bob. Oh, thanks for the hearts up, Ira. Cool. Okay, so we'll send you an email with all the links. Bless you. We've done pretty good. It's about 40 minutes, so that's not too bad for us, rather than an hour and a half. So lots of love.
So we'll do this again. We'll contact you. I'll find you. And yes, we'll do it again. And we'll go, it seems like everybody wants to go deeper.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. So we'll send out an email after the poll's out and we'll let you know what we're doing. But yeah, I would like to go deeper into this as well.
Yeah.
So. All right, lots of love, guys. God bless you. And we'll see you live very soon.
Yes. Bye.
Bye for now.
Mwah.